Prime View TV, new media with a difference.
Hello. Good evening. Good evening and welcome to Prime View Television. My name is Marlene Onyocha, Lady Marlene. You are welcome to Straight Talk. Straight Talk is a show on Prime View Television which we have every Saturday, 6 p.m. UK time and 7 p.m. Nigeria time. Sometimes it's a political show, sometimes it's an entertainment show. But today, I have the privilege to welcome television via Straight Talk online none other than Chief Ben ETIABA. Chief Ben ETIABA FCA is also known as the IFENNIA NNEWI. And I'm going to Chief Ben. It's supposed to be myself and Spencer hosting this show today. But for some reason, Spencer is not in Nigeria. He's supposed to be interviewing from Nigeria, but for some reason, it is difficult bringing Spencer on board. But we are not going to wait for Spencer because when he comes, we'll surely bring him up. But let me bring on into the studio Chief Ben. Let him tell us introduce himself to the audience and to the viewers. And we have a lot of people in either to contribute or to ask one question or the other about ANAMBRA gubernatorial election. ANAMBRA election is coming up 2021. Not 2023, 2021. And we have a lot of aspirants coming up, going for that governorship election. And this evening, we have nobody but one person that APC can actually vouch for, Chief Ben ETIABA. Let me bring him onto the studio. Let him tell us exactly who he is and explain to us why he thinks Anambrians will vote for him. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you, Lady Marlene. I'm delighted to be in your studio virtually. Good evening,
thank you. I'm happy to have you. We are happy. Prime View TV, actually, we are privileged to have you on board today. Spencer, the co-host, we're still, for some reason, Spencer is still about, I don't know what's going on. You know what Nigerian internet is all about. But he hasn't been able to log in.
I'm having some issues too, but I can see you and I can hear you. And so far, so
yes,
good.
No, yours is so clear that you don't even look like you're Nigerian. So please, Chief Ben, can you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself? I know you're an accountant and you used to be here with us in UK. Can you explain to the people that really don't know about you a little bit about yourself, sir?
All right. Thank you, Lady Marlene. I am Ben ETIABA, like you quite rightly introduced me. I am 57. I was born into a humble home some 57 years ago in NNEWI. My father was a lawyer, one of our foremost lawyers, and my mother, who's still around, is a teacher. And I'm a chartered accountant. I'm the first.
Yes,
I'm the first of their 6 children. I lived in England for 25 years, and I came back 14 years ago. Whilst in England, I qualified as a chartered accountant. I became a fellow, and I led my professional group, the district in the UK. And I did a few other things public service-wise. I was chairman of my people, the NNEWI Community Association of Great Britain and Ireland for 2 terms. That was at the age of 27. I was quite young then. I was a bachelor, and no bachelor has done that ever since. And certainly nobody under the age of 30. But after that, after sort of leading ICANN, I also had the fortune of being elected the chairman of the London group, which was a group at that time made up of Nigerian professionals and of Nigerian doctors, chartered accountants, lawyers, and all that. And the election was called, and I was lucky to be chosen to serve as the chairman. Then I came back to Nigeria. Do you want to know a bit of what I've been doing in Nigeria in the last 14 years?
We will want to know that too, but before we go there, for people that are not aware of this, you are the first son to our former governor, female. I should actually say the first female governor we ever had, because she was a deputy before she became the president. So please, can you also put that in? Yes. So go ahead, sir.
All right. Okay. Then I came back 14 years ago. I chose to live in Enugu. I didn't live in Lagos or Abuja, where I could have made a lot of money. I chose to live in the Southeast, precisely because I wanted to prepare myself for this role that I'm offering myself for. I wanted to study the politics of Nigeria, the politics of the Southeast, the politics of Anambra State, to see the actors, but stay away from the whole process. I've never, sort of been part of it. Now I've done all of that. I've prepared myself, and I'm ready. But while preparing myself, I chose a few public service roles. I became the first person to be chairman of the captain of the golf section of Enugu Sports Club within 3 years of being a member since 1929. Usually you'll be a member for 15, 20, 30 years before you can be captain. But I achieved that within 3 years. It created a lot of problems, because a lot of members didn't like the fact that a new member was leaving them. But it didn't matter. I did well for them. I did quite a lot of projects for them, and they supported me to become the first person to be chairman of Enugu Sports Club within 5 years of being a member since 1929. And the rest is history, as they say, off the back of what I did at the club.
I can imagine. And coming to the main topic of today's program, the main reason why we brought you on board. Yes. You are aspiring to govern Anambra State. Can you tell us in a few words what's the driving force behind your ambition to become the governor of Anambra State?
Okay, I am frustrated, like a lot of us are. I'm frustrated the way things are being run in my country, in our country. I'm frustrated that what is ordinarily an easy task, leadership, is being made to look as though it's rocket science. It isn't. Things are not going well, not just in Anambra State, everywhere, everywhere in Africa, really. And having lived abroad, I could see how easy it is to fix things. It is so easy, so long as you're dedicated, you have a clear vision, you're honest with yourself and honest with the people. A lot can be done. And I really do want to impact, to showcase leadership. Not because I want to show that I'm better than anyone else. I am not better than anyone at all. I'm not smarter than these politicians. I'm not, sort of wiser than them. But I just think that things must be done differently to achieve the result we need. And that's what I bring to the table. I want to do things differently. Brad Solos, I have this quote from him. He says that the key to success is to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And believe me, if you do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, and that's what I intend to do in Anambra State, the result will be different and the result will be good. Because if you keep doing the same thing, the same way over and over, you'll keep getting the same result. And that's what we have faced over the years, over the decades. And I'm tired, I'm really frustrated about it. So I come out of frustration, but good and the same frustration motivating me into trying to do my best for my people.
And so that means you have a manifesto already in plan for us.
Oh yes, you can't run in an election without having a manifesto. We have what we call our 5 cardinal point agenda. Okay, it's like we're going back to basics, but the manifesto says a lot about security, about education, about what's it called, health, about agriculture, and about integrated infrastructure. Because to our leaders, leadership means doing 1,000 kilometers of road, and everybody's clapping that you're leading. No, leadership is more holistic than that. And that's why we've come up with an integrated agenda, a 5-point agenda that will deal with a myriad of problems we're facing today in Anambra State.
Okay, sir. And sorry, I'm jumping the hurdle here and there. But last about 2 weeks ago, you were interviewed in a radio, and there was a question I asked. You didn't get the chance to answer it. I must bring that. That was actually one of the main reasons I said I'll bring you to our station to ask you the same question. And that is now, where would you say that the present government has failed, and why? How do you think you can? What change do you think you can bring to that? I want you to answer that question.
Okay, maybe Marlene, I know you. Thank you
if
so
you
much
feel
for
they have failed
me
somewhere
online, following me various. I've done 2 radio shows today already. People want to hear my vision, and I'm sort of getting it across to them. But maybe I most diplomatically skipped that question, and I'll tell you why. I'll deal with it somehow. I don't want, I don't want to be drawn into criticizing the present. I want more to say what the future will look like, what I will do. Now, and I'll tell you why. Our politics is very partisan, it's very tribal. And it's not only in Nigeria. Look at in the US. The former president was acquitted by his party. And the Democrats actually wanted to convict him. So you see that people react to things along party lines. And if I want to begin to talk about where the government has failed, you'll get people, after people shouting, oh, he hasn't failed. And if more of them shout against my voice, against what I'm saying, then people will tend to begin to believe them. So I can excuse you asking because you're not in Anambra State. For the citizens of Anambra State who are aware of what's going on, they can tell you, and they can tell me more than I can tell them where the government has failed. So let me not talk about failure. Let me talk about what we're going to do differently. Is that right?
Yes.
Marlene,
okay.
With that?
Talk about. Are you ready to talk about what you're to do different? Yes, with that. If not, you can still skip it. If you don't want to go there, you can still skip it.
No, I'm not dodging any question. I'm just telling you that for me to come here and begin to talk about Mr. A field, Mr. B field, that's engaging in what everyone else is doing. I'm not interested in that. I want to draw a line and move ahead and move forward. Okay? Now, and when you talk about failure, you cannot give what you don't have. I believe that all these leaders that we're saying have failed are actually doing their best. But they can only give their best, the best of what they have. Okay? Now, why I'm offering myself, so why I'm offering myself is I'm saying to people, look at my public record service over the last 30 years. In my intro, I told you that I led NNEWI Community Association at the age of 27. I am 57 now. That means that I have a 30-year clear record of public service. 30 years, in that period, I led my people, the NNEWI Community Association. I led ICANN. I led the London Group. I led the golf section of Enugu Sports Club. I led the sports club. So I have a verifiable track record of spanning over 30 years. I think that should be a long enough period to assess anybody. Not just to come on your studio and come with a beautiful manifesto written by some professor and regurgitating it, telling you I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll turn Anambra into a goldfish, whatever, a gold bowl. No, but what is important is actually not the manifesto. What is important is this person that is telling you that he will do ABC. What has he done in the past to show you, to demonstrate that he will do exactly what he says he will do? And if you go back and look at everything I've done step by step, you will know that if Bennett ever tells you he will do A, take it to the bank, he will do exactly that. So that's what I bring to the table. Somebody who will be honest with himself, be honest with the voters, and work hard for them. I'm not in this to enrich myself. And by the way, I've been blessed with 3 children. They are all graduates, all of them. So I'm free to do this. I have nothing else to do with my time. I don't have any need to make more money for myself. So I have nothing else to do with my time but to impact, to showcase a little bit of what I learned while I was with you guys here.
And you see, okay, on a more serious note, the security in Nigeria is way out of hand. And in Anambra State, it is also really terrible. Do you have any robust plan for security in Nigeria, in Anambra per se? Different
yes,
from
of course, and I'll tell you a bit of that. Anambra is, luckily, is not as bad as the other states when it comes to security, luckily. And I'll tell you, you were asking me to criticize the present government, but let me, and I didn't want to criticize them, not because I'm scared of them, but just a waste of my time. But I'll actually tell you that the governor has done so well in security, in the area of security, in the last 6 years or so that he's been in office. Security has improved tremendously, but we still are not where we ought to be. What we will do is to maintain the existing security architecture we have. Mind you, the issue of security is not something you come on the studio to discuss, but I can say a few things and keep a few more sensitive things to myself, okay? But we will, luckily, by the grace of God, be inheriting a good security architecture. We'll improve on that, which is why I am telling the ANAMBRA, my people here, to hook up to the national grid when it comes to political party, when it comes to the party in government. Because with an APC governor in Anambra, and especially one like myself, by the grace of God, I always say, because it's God that gives power, it's very easy to tell Mr. President what I want and get it. It will be very easy to speak to the IG of police and he will listen and do what this governor wants. And I'll tell you why, okay? The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says that the governors are the chief security officers of their various states. But you know the contradiction there. The governor is not in control of the police in his state. He is not in control of the commissioner of police in his state. So if you are not in control of the commissioner of police, how then are you the chief security officer in your state? Well, that's what the Constitution tells us. And that's part of why people are agitating for restructuring and all that. So some of these things can be changed. But I am not worried about restructuring for now. That's not my headache. My headache is to use the existing structures to get things done better for my people. So inheriting a good architecture, improving on it is one. Funding that architecture is one. The governors are known to be drawing security votes. Don't ask me whether they use it for security or for something else. I don't want to be drawn into that. But I will make sure that the security architecture is well funded. And when I say architecture, I mean including the personnel, okay? But we need to work smarter when it comes to security. We need to work smarter. And what do I mean by that? I want to put in 10% of the effort, not because I'm lazy, but to achieve 90% of the result. That is better for us than to put in 90% of the effort to achieve 10% of the result, if you know what I mean by that. So that's why I say work smarter. We are going to be digitalizing our security in Anambra State, okay? We will be relying more on information technology. These things are there. The wheel has been invented. We are not going to reinvent the wheel, but it's just to have the will, the strong will, okay, to implement these things that is required. You need somebody who is serious about security, there's enough funding, I can tell you about that much I know in the area of security. We're not doing badly, but we will do much better under an APC government led by Ben ETIABA as governor of Anambra State, by the grace of God.
Okay, and then from security, can we get into environmental? Nigeria, we know also has environmental problems. And now the environmental sanitation, we all know is a big problem. But then what measures do you have in place to make sure Anambra is one of the states that will be talked about when we talk to cleanliness in Nigeria? Okay,
that's one of the areas that I would have highlighted if I had gone negative earlier. But that's one area, let me put it in a positive way, that we need to do a lot of work in. Anambra is not as clean as, not even nearly half as clean as it should be. Okay? Now, you know, there are many things we can do. And even as filthy as Anambra is at the moment, it can be an advantage. We can even use that waste to create energy. And I'm sure you know it. We can convert, we can go from waste to energy. Okay? So all we need to do is to clean up the place. And to clean up the environment, you need to invest in that. Okay? You need to invest in equipment. You need to invest in personnel, train them. You need to even partner with foreign investors in achieving that. Because those are the people that can actually help you to build the energy plant that can be a side product, a spin-off of having a dirty environment. Clean up the environment and use that to generate energy. So we will take it seriously. It's one of the priority areas, environment, and we're working at it. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I remember when Governor Sullivan Chime was governor in Enugu, he imported a lot of trucks, the like of which you see in London, you know, the ones that come, you know, once or twice a week to sweep the streets, to collect the bad, your rubbish from your front of your homes and everything. They were operating in Enugu. And that kind of thing I intend to bring to Anambra State. The money is there. And later I'll tell you about funding, how we can do these things, because it's easy to say, I'll do this, I'll do that, and I'm not demonstrating.
Yeah, anyway, you lived overseas. I'm sure you have more connections out there to bring them in, the investors, to bring them in to do that. Okay, let's keep environmental for a minute and let's go into health, which is the most crucial thing in every human life. In Anambra State, currently, and only recently, they initiated a basic healthcare insurance at a fee of I think it was 12,500 naira.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to make it more affordable and easier for people to access?
Okay, I'd like to tell you that I'll sort of have free healthcare for everybody, but there's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Somebody has to pay at the end of it, at the end of the day. That's again one of the areas I give kudos to the government. It's funny. You want to change the government.
Chief Ben, I interrupt you a minute. We have it here. Complete full package. Can't we have at least a little bit of it in Nigeria? Instead of saying no free lunch.
Let me tell you, let me tell you, Britain has evolved over the years, and we're not nearly as developed as Britain is at the moment, which was why I told you in my manifesto, I tagged it back to basics, get the basics right. And part of getting the basics right is to get the health sector right, okay? In the year 2016, the Anambra State House of Assembly, I came up with this law that you just talked about that gave birth to the health insurance scheme operating in the state now. And in September, I remember that clearly because that's my birth month, September of 2018, the scheme was launched. Presently, I believe about 90,000 citizens have signed up to it, and that's not good enough. If you think about the population of Anambra State, 90,000 naira is just a drop in the ocean. So we need to make sure, first of all, before you talk about making it free, to make sure that more people sign up to it. And you know what happens with insurance? The more people that sign up to such schemes, the premium will come down, okay? Presently, it's 12,500 and 90,000 people have signed up. Can you imagine when we have 2 million, 3 million Anambra citizens signing up to that? It will begin to come down. So our plan will be to partner, first of all, apart from creating public awareness. So, because a lot of Anambra citizens are not even aware this scheme is on. Sensitization, public awareness, to create that and the benefits of that. More people will come on board. But that's not what's going to do it for me. I think Anambra, we have a lot of billionaires, and I'm sure you know that. There is no state in Nigeria that has the number of billionaires we have here in Anambra State. So we'll partner with them.
Especially you're right.
Everywhere in Anambra, yes, we have quite a lot of billionaires. And by the way, in this race, I'm up against many billionaires. So I didn't tell you that. So, but you know, we're not scared of billionaires. So Marlene, I'll say this to you. Yeah, I'll say this to you. So how will I partner with them? One of them, Dozy Oil, so you may know him. Just got 1,500 people registered in his village. But if I can sell this idea to them, what is 12,500 to them times 100,000 people that one person can take on? They can do it as part of their corporate social responsibility. And by the time they've done it for the first year, these people will see the benefits of it and they'll begin to renew it themselves. Because 12,500 is easily affordable. It's just that people don't think they will need it, okay? And instead of saying deliver healthcare free of charge, say get it, make it accessible at the point of need, at the point of use, okay? And this way we can, sort of achieve that goal. So that's what we intend to do. I'm not here to tell you, I'll give free education, give free healthcare, free meals, and all of that, and then just get elected and everybody was shouting at me. No, I will not overpromise. I'll say what I'll do, and I'll demonstrate how I'll do it, and I'll get into office by the grace of God, and I'll do it.
Yes, okay, because you just highlighted my next question, which is on free education. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm taking them step by step, because I know we have touched a few security, environmental, and all that. Before even I can get into education, you already told us you're not in support of free education. But other places like, because Anambra is quite brilliant.
No, I haven't talked about education. I was talking about free healthcare.
No, okay, but okay, free healthcare.
Yes, I wasn't talking about
okay. Okay, so now, in education now, Anambra is number 3 under Imo and Lagos State when it comes to how do I put it out? In recent times. So now, because they are all there propelled, are you willing to give free education to Anambra students?
Okay. What I'll say is this. Remember free education.
Yes.
We experienced it in Nigeria during the UPN days. I think Jakonde in Lagos did that. And a lot of Anambra citizens right away benefited from that scheme. And they are thankful to Jakonde and to UPN as a result. What we want to do first is not to overpromise. Okay? We will make education more affordable than it is at the moment. That's one thing I can promise you. I take it to the bank tonight. We'll make it more affordable. Okay? But we want to make Anambra State from 3rd position, consistently 3rd position, to number 1 in 4 years. And we can do that. And that's part of the 5 cardinal points I mentioned earlier. Okay? If you go around Anambra State and see some of our schools, you will weep for the pupils and the students. Some of them are don't have security fencing, perimeter fencing. Okay, so the schools are not secure. Some of them don't even have windows. I say some of them. The government doing their bit, slowly, gradually to. But it's going to be a task force, and there will be a war declared in that sector, education and health, to make sure that the infrastructure is right, get the buildings right. Okay, equip the schools, have the right teachers, train them, motivate them, pay them well. I believe that by the time we've done all these things, it will be so easy to move from number 3 to number 1.
I hope you do that, because I believe when I went to school in Anambra myself. I went to school in Onitsha, Anglican girls.
I never knew that.
And I believe that we were number 1. So I hope we'll get back to number 1. Talking about
Anambra, they carry title.
I know. Talking about landmarks now. Any landmark projects you intend to bring? Any plan you intend to bring to Anambra State?
Okay, I think we're always fixated about landmark projects, about legacy projects. And because we're fixated with that, we keep missing the mark all the time. If you go around Nigeria, as well as it is in Anambra, you will see a lot of abandoned projects. Because every 4 years or every 8 years, someone comes in as the governor. He abandons what his predecessors have done so that he can have his own legacy project. I'm not going to be fixated chasing legacy. First of all, my priority will be to ensure that every viable project commenced prior to my period in office will be completed. That's the first thing. Okay? If you come to Anambra, you see a lot of roads. We have maybe the best network of roads in Anambra, but a lot of them filled with potholes. Every governor comes in, he abandons all of those roads done by previous governors to go and create and do new roads. So people will say, oh, Governor ETIABA did this. When I say about Governor ETIABA, God willing, Governor ETIABA the second. So I say Governor Ben ETIABA did that road. Instead of ensuring that
because Dave is number 1.
Yes, she's number 1 and will always remain number 1 female governor. But that aside, my priority will not be chasing legacy, but ensuring that the state works, fixing the existing roads, finishing the existing buildings being done. If the international airport is not finished by then, it's a massive project. I doubt if it's going to be finished. We're told it will be finished. But it doesn't matter. It's a good project. Even if it's not finished, I'll finish it. Let the legacy go to Obiano. It's not my headache. There's a massive conference center being done in Oka here. If it's not finished, Ben ETIABA will come in and finish it. So my priority will be to do those things that will make Anambra work, rather than to do those things that I'll be remembered for.
Okay, that's a good one. And now this time I'm bringing 2 questions in one, because those 2 questions has a lot to do with my likes. What plans do you have for diasporans, Anambra diasporans, and women if you become the governor? What plans do you have for us?
Thank you. First, diaspora. You know that's my constituency. I've been back for 14 years. Yes, I've been back here for 14 years. And in those 14 years, my pet project has been to help diasporans who want to return. Not by giving them money, they're wealthier than me. Giving them advice, giving them the support network, giving them, introducing the right people to help them in one way or the other. So if I'm doing that in my personal capacity, it will tell you that the diasporans are so important to me. And believe me, if I succeed, diasporans will play a lot of role in getting Anambra State back on its feet. You know why? These are people who have seen things work. Diasporans have seen very simple things work. The things that are important to my people here are the very gigantic things that are, to me, not so important. The things that matter to me are those very basic things that they are not looking at, they are not seeing. Okay? So diasporans who are coming, come to England, come to the UK. A lot of our top consultants, if you're looking at the health sector, are from Anambra. If you go to the US, the same thing, from Anambra. Okay? So how come, I'm not saying that doctors here are not good enough. I'm not saying that, but they need help. Why do you think that the Anambra citizens are paying so much for medical tourism when we have people who are going to meet overseas anyway? In fact, if I tell you that the top Nigerian doctor that everybody from Nigeria sees as a first point of contact when they arrive is from Anambra, in Wimpole, I think it's Wimpole Street, off Harley Street, this is around Harley Street. Let me not mention his name, because he may not like that. It's an Anambra citizen from Obaru, okay? So, we'll try as much as possible to get the infrastructure right here. Equip, even if, not necessarily building new hospitals, refurbish the existing hospitals, equip the existing hospitals with the state-of-the-art equipment, bring back our personnel to help the existing doctors here. Okay? That's in the health sector alone. And we're going to do that in every sector. In education, in agriculture. We've not even started talking about agriculture in this interview. When we get to agriculture, I'll tell you my plans too. Yeah. Okay, and we've not gotten to infrastructure. So we have a holistic manifesto. But like I said earlier, it is not about the content of my manifesto that is important. What is important is who Ben ETIABA is. What makes the average listener here or the voter in Anambra believe that Ben ETIABA is not just a school talker, but will come into office and do what he's saying he will do. That's what's important.
Okay, now getting us to agriculture, but before we hit that agriculture question, we talked about diaspora, we talked about women, but there's one that is very
I missed out on the women. Please, can I say something on women?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, what you're saying about the women, please also add the disabled, which is close to my heart. The women and disabled. What plan do you have for the disabled?
Okay, first of all, let me deal with the disabled before the women. For the disabled, we're going to have affirmative action to ensure that not that they are not left behind, but that they are in the middle peak of the action. Okay?
Okay.
When you have the misfortune of having one form of disability or the other, it just doesn't mean that you cannot be the best human being you can be, that you cannot achieve to the best of your capacity and ability. I have a cousin who wasn't born blind. When we were toddlers, when we were young, in fact, it was during the war, they went enough hospitals to take care of him. He turned blind as well. He went to G River Special Needs School. He studied in the US. He came back, joined Anambra State Civil Service, rose to the top of the civil service, and just retired recently, a few months ago. Okay? Azuka is a typical example. Azuka Fumata, I love him dearly, he's my senior brother. He's a typical example that there is ability in disability. Okay? So I'm driven and motivated by him as a role model to know that we can have a policy that can recruit a lot of our disabled people into not just government, but encourage the private sector to have them. Okay? And to show hope. No hope is lost. So affirmative action will deal with that. I will be at the forefront of that, and they were told to do so as governor hold me responsible for it. But for the women, the Beijing conference, I think, say 30% or 35%, I can't quite remember. But I will say this to you, that if anybody has respect for women, it is Ben ETIABA, in all ramifications. We will partner with the women as well as with the youth, but I'll tell you with the women, I can give you a percentage that not less than 40% of my ESCO and the people that I'll run the government with will be women. At least 40% will be women. And if by the grace of God I'm elected governor, the rest assured that the deputy governor of Anambra State will be a woman. Because if not just for who I am, it just will not make sense that the son of the first female governor in Nigeria yes, runs a male ticket. It just won't make sense to the women of Anambra State. So,
exactly. People like us.
Let me tell you, these women are sharper than us. But it's just that because of some reason of the nature of politics in Africa, they don't offer themselves for service. So it will be up to those of us who know the virtues of womanhood to draft them in and let them come and help us.
Fantastic. We're running a bit of short of time, but before I bring one or two people, there are one or two people that've gone now, but they're still in the studio. Before I bring them on board, let's now touch agriculture. How do I put it now? How do you plan to mechanize farming agriculture in Nigeria?
Okay.
I mean, not in Nigeria, rather in Anambra State.
In Anambra State, yeah. No, don't worry, maybe you're seeing far.
Of course.
Okay. No, that is easy. Yeah, that is easy. Very easy indeed. Dr. IFENNIA, who I believe was from your state. I believe you're from Abia, Malin. Are you?
I'm from Abia, yes, I'm Abia.
Yes, okay. Dr. IFENNIA remains my hero, all-time hero. If he could mechanize agriculture in the eastern region in the 60s, why can't we do it now? If you look at my profile, you will find that one of the pages there, you see Dr. IFENNIA in Israel in 1960, talking to the Israelis about coming to partner with him to develop agriculture in the southeast, in the eastern region. And they did, they came, and the result was clear. In fact, at the time, within his tenure, he had taken the eastern region to becoming one of the fastest growing economies of the world. I'm not talking about of Nigeria or of Africa, of the world, eastern region, he did that. I will do the same, I'll partner with them. Anambra has over 95% arable land. You only need to fly into Enugu, just look across the Anambra belt as you're descending, to see the lush greenery. It just shows you that anything can grow in Anambra. We have water. We don't even need to practice irrigation. Okay, there's nothing that cannot grow here. So bring in foreign partners to sort of get this thing done with us, and we'll be self-sufficient in food. We'll export food. We'll earn money. We'll employ our people. So much spin-off, so much benefit from that. We'll reduce unemployment with agriculture, Marlene.
I know. And then there's I don't know if Catherine, let me bring one or two people on board. I don't know if they have questions or they want to contribute. Let me bring that for is Difu. Yes, Difu. Hello. He's for some reason he just got frozen. Difu, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Difu?
I can hear you.
Okay, I brought you on board. Maybe you have one or two
questions.
Do you have one or two questions to ask as a governor? Because I'm calling him my governor already, because I know he has my vote.
I don't have any question. I'm just telling thumbs up, good job, and we hope that you do well.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Dufour. Thank you. And there's Catherine that has been here for a while. Let me ask her if she can. Okay, she just hello. She just she's I think when they come back, there were a few of them here, but right now their videos are not showing, and I cannot bring anybody without video. I can't just bring them on board without video. But then let's go back to the blocked drainage. poor roads and erosions in it's a massive problem we have in Anambra State. What plans do you have to address this?
Oh, that is very simple. To clear the drainages, very simple. It's part of that environmental issue and part of the infrastructural development that we need to embark on. Some of these drainages are blocked because there is no outflow. Okay, so you free up and channel the water into sort of where they should go, and because the rubbish is just thrown everywhere, you find that all of these garbage end up in the what's it called again? The gutters. Okay, the drainage system. Okay, so until we begin to take our sanitation seriously and have this maintenance culture, that means that the existing roads done previously by previous regimes are maintained, these issues will continue to arise. So we will ensure that we get the basics right, maintain what we have, and service what the drainage channels. Because if, for instance, you build a house, you live in your house, if you don't repaint it from time to time, nobody will want to come into your house to eat. So we'll make sure that these channels are serviced.
Okay, let me bring Kenneth King up. Maybe he has a contribution to it. Hello, Kenneth. Can you hear me? He's somehow my their system is delayed a bit, but he can. Hi, Kenneth. How are you, Kenneth? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Kenneth? Okay, maybe he's frozen.
Marley, what has happened to Ola? Ola was on the line. What has happened to him? Has he gone?
Ola is not there, but Diro is still there, but his picture is not. He's there, but in the back. Okay, Diro is back. Let me bring Diro back. Hello.
Hi, Diro. Diro, unmute your phone.
Diro, can you
microphone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Diro.
Ben, it's great.
Hi. How are you?
To see you. And Lady Marlin, thanks for giving us a platform here. I'm so delighted to join this thing. I don't have a question, but I really want to attest to all that I've heard of what Ben had said. He hasn't missed the mark at all. Ben is a very man of intense intelligence, talent, and ability. Also visionary in his own way. I have to tell you that when you talk in terms of other people who know how to build leadership, this man had led us and had created a lot of leaders that are leading in every very different aspect of the world. You know, he's a very exposed guy and highly detribalized. I think Anambra is lucky to have someone like him, very humble and an achiever. 2 years of leading us in UK, he transformed the organization. And I can only attest that with him, you have a winner, not only in Anambra State, but also in Nigeria. I really want to wish him a good luck. I'm a member of the APC myself in Osun State, so I am there with him, and I know that he's going to do well for the state. God bless you, Ben.
Thank you, Diro.
Thank you so much.
Humbled. Diro, I'm really humbled. And in case you're wondering who Diro is, that attestation has just come from a former chairman of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, United Kingdom and District Societies. Okay. So it's not just an attestation from nobody. So Diro, I feel humbled. I am grateful to you. I think I would like to believe that the way you described me is who I would like to believe I am. I'm grateful. Honestly, I'm humbled. Thank you, my brother. I'll get in touch with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dura. Thank you. And I have Ola back now. Let me bring Ola. Maybe he has a contribution to make too, please. He's back on. Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Oh, good evening.
Hi, Ola.
Hello.
How are you?
Sorry, I am in 2 meetings, so you forgive me here. I can't get half here. But that said, I am online at the moment, guys. I'm online, guys. Sorry, apologies there. Congratulations on your efforts here, my dear man. May God continue to be with you and guide you. I do have one question, of course. I was going to ask, what are you going to do for the people of Anambra?
Thank you. Now, Lady Marlin, Ola is a very controversial figure. I knew he was going to come up with a very controversial question. So, my brother, again, I'm so delighted that
I can't quite hear you very well. Something is wrong with the network here.
Oh, okay. You can use your earphones. Can you use your earphones?
Hold on, let me put my headphones on. Maybe things will get better. Hold on a second.
Because I can hear you very well.
Sorry.
We heard you very well.
Let's use technology to adapt, shall we?
Okay, Ola?
Sorry about this. Hello.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't hear the first bit of what I said. Yeah? Ola, what I will do... Something, there's an interference, man. I'm picking up some...
Oh, I love technology sometimes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Ben. He will hear you now. He can hear you.
Okay.
He can hear you.
What are you going to do on the Anambra? Ola asked. Ola, if you heard what I said earlier, I will do the opposite of what every governor has done. That is what's going to take us to where we need to be.
Okay.
We're nowhere near where we should be headed.
We have lost him. Yes, we have lost him. I don't know. Let me.
No, but I can still answer the question. Yeah, I can answer the question. Yeah, a great leader.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes,
a great leader. Yes, a great leader is one who takes his people from where they are to where they should be. So,
absolutely.
What I say to Allah is that I will take my people from where we are now to where they ought to be. Okay? Where they ought to be in security, where they ought to be in agriculture, where they ought to be in health, and where they ought to be in education. And because you've been in 2 meetings, you missed out on a lot of what I will do for them. Because we've explored that a lot. But I hope there will be a link at the end of this program that somebody who missed it can now use to see what has transpired.
May I quickly add, I've got a number of colleagues who've been trying to join the meeting. Can you please increase your capacity for members to join, for viewers to join in, please? Thank you.
I will do. Yeah, I will do. Thank you so much. Thank you. I will do.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You know what happens with StreamYard? StreamYard allows you to have 10 people. And then there's more than 10, there's 10 people here logged in, but most of them are not with videos, and I cannot bring them up without video. So, but what I'll do, I'll call their names up and I'll remove them so that other people can come in. I have a Benga that is still logged on. Charles Chukwudi is still here, but he hasn't taken up. And then there's a Josh here. There's Obi, which I think you've heard. There's Femi Awojobi is also logged in. Catherine is still here, and Chichi is here. But I can't see them because that's why I cannot bring them on board. But whenever any of them comes up, I will bring them. But before there's a few questions I still want you to answer before you leave, please. How will you ensure that the local governments see real development?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. Because you know that real development happens at the local government level. And in Anambra now, we've not had local government election for many years. Not just this governor, before him. So the way to ensure that is to ensure that I, as governor of Anambra State, will do what the Constitution says. And that is not to work with appointed local government caretaker committees, or to have proper local government elections. Because that's the only way you can devolve power to the local government, okay? Because if you appoint local government executives and then you direct them and you tell them how to spend the money, then you're still, sort of not having any government at that level. So the best way to do it is to do what the Constitution says, have a local government election, but ensure that at that level, it doesn't become another avenue for embezzlement. because I, as governor, will be the one reporting my people to EFCC. I won't wait for EFCC to come. But that's a different discussion. We will develop the local government sectors by ensuring that the manifesto of the party, ABC, the agenda that I come in with, the 5-point agenda, will be implemented down to the local government level, the grassroots.
Okay, I'm quite surprised that every question that you're thrown at, you have a tangible answer to it. You know, you're really, really prepared for us today.
Thank you.
But what do you think? Let me ask you sincerely, what's your opinion about the current state of the civil service in Anambra State? What's your opinion?
Okay, you know, it's easy to sit here and say the civil service is overbloated in terms of personnel. It's very easy to say that. But when you look at what goes on there, it doesn't leave much to be desired. People no longer see civil service as a career. They see it as a part-time stint. You go in there maybe once or twice a week for 2 or 3 hours, ensure that you're still marking the register, and then you go do your business. That's what we're faced with now. So the first thing we will do is to ensure that we have a personnel audit within the first 6 months, to really ensure that we don't have ghost workers, to ensure that we have the right people working in the right places. If you come to Anambra, Anambra was carved out of the old Anambra state, meaning that most of the top civil servants still live in Enugu. Every day they commute to Oka from Enugu and go back to Enugu. Because most of them don't have homes in Oka. We will ensure that we have a scheme that will be similar to the council flats you have, even if they are just bed seats, to ensure that, okay, you're a civil servant, you live in Enugu, you have a place to live in from Monday to Friday, go back to see your family weekends. Because we're going to ensure that if you're a civil servant and you're not putting in the 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or whatever time says, you run the risk of losing your job. Because we're going to be very serious. Changing Anambra State, waking Anambra State up from slumber, taking Anambra State from darkness to light, from where it is to where it should be, will not be just the task of Ben ETIABA if I'm the governor. It will be the task of everybody. My own role as the leader will be to motivate all of us into action. The greatest football manager is not a striker. He's the one that motivates that team into scoring goals, into ensuring that they don't concede goals. I intend to run Anambra State as a great football manager.
Fantastic, fantastic. And then we come back to the youths. The human capital development is they call it the bedrock of prosperity. What are your plans for the youths of Anambra State? Okay.
A number of things will be done. I've told you already that we're going to reduce unemployment through agriculture. I think that was demonstrated earlier. But there's also something we want to do, something that has not been done. We want to aggressively develop Anambra State using sports. You see, because a lot of our youth have idle time. They have downtime. Nothing better to do with their time but to look for trouble and to join one gang or the other. We're going to make sure that we develop in all the 21 local government areas centers of excellence in sports. And when I say sports, I'm a golfer, but golf is seen as an elite sport. So I'm not talking about golf here. But for the golfers, don't worry. If a golfer is governor, you know your game is safe in Anambra State. But the popular sports, football, athletics, basketball, name them, volleyball. We're going to make sure that in all 21 local government areas of Anambra State, you have standard sporting facilities to ensure that our youth get the practice, exercise their health, and from those grassroots sports development centers, the next superstars of the world can be picked up. Tennis can be discovered. Okay, so sports will be a major thing for the youth. But I also tell you this: at 57, I'm no longer young. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. My kids, my children, to be thinking about doing this sort of thing I'm doing. At 27, I started leading. So there's no reason why my children cannot begin now to think of being the future leaders of tomorrow. In Nigeria, we tell the youth, oh, you're the leaders of tomorrow. But they are waiting for that tomorrow to come, and then tomorrow is not coming. It's still their grandfathers still in office. People like us, their parents, aspiring to get into office. So we will groom a lot of these youth and bring them into politics, bring them into various leadership positions. Because if you look at what's going on now, it's an older people's game. This was why when you had the NSAS protests, it was very popular in Nigeria. Because they just were feeling left out. If you look at various agitations all over Nigeria, led by the youth, you know what's going on in the Southeast. Okay, don't need to go down there to talk about that. It's not the subject of this interest. If you go to the South, if you go to everywhere in the Southwest, our youth, very restive. And this is happening not just because they have idle time, but because of bad leadership. If we can show them that we're serious about leadership and bring them in to be part of that leadership, they will see that there's hope for tomorrow. And it is hope that will make you to do the right things and not do the wrong ones. So we'll partner with the youth.
Okay.
This government will also ensure that we'll bring in quite a lot of youth to work with us. It's not going to be an old people's affair.
Okay. Before you give us your final remarks, I wanted to still on the youths. You have lived in UK for a long time. I know you have access to foreign investors and all that. Do you have any particular direct investments you intend to attract to Anambra State to empower the youth, to help empower the youths?
Oh, yes. You know, no state can develop just based on federal allocation. Or in the case of Anambra, we're very lucky. We should be generating quite a lot locally, IGR, which is not happening because for some reason, I don't know why it's not happening. So, but you can't just rely on IGR and your federal allocation to develop the state. There are a lot of foreign donors waiting to come in, but they are looking for seriousness in those states. They are looking for seriousness in the leaders. They are looking for lack of to ensure transparency. That if they come in with their money, that money will be used for the same purpose that is being earmarked for. Okay. What I can tell you is that we're getting in touch with foreign donors, introducing the campaign to them, telling them who we are, we're aspiring. Please, if we get into office, come back. We have them here. It's not going to be, there's no magic in Benita bringing them. They were here before, but they left. So we're going to make sure that we bring them back and we'll bring more of them back to help us develop our infrastructure, these sporting facilities I'm talking about, waste to energy, agriculture. There are sort of grants and donor agencies happy to partner with you if you can demonstrate seriousness and show them that you're not going to that's not going to be part of any corrupt scheme anymore.
Chief Ben, you have covered almost all the topics for today, but I still need to bring two more people. I still need to bring somebody on board. I don't know, Catherine keeps coming in and off whenever, but let me bring, there's James Coker just logged in. Maybe he has a question or
Please,
two.
I'd like to hear from James Coker.
Josh is still there. James.
My brother done a good job.
You're welcome.
Before Oga speaks, James Coker is my Oga. You know, every Oga has an Oga. So in my place, there's something we call Oga the Oga. That means the boss of all bosses, you know. James Coker is Mr. Icon. So when I mentioned earlier what I did in the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria in the district in UK, I owe everything to James Coker. He's been my mentor. Even in this project, yes, even in this project, he's been so supportive. Okay, I say thank you. Okay, you're my mentor. And my prayer is that God will give you the strength to see me, hopefully, become the governor of Anambra State. And for you to come down to Oka, for Anambra State to proudly, under my leadership, name something after you. Because that's how much you mean to me. Thank you. Well, go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Hey, my brother, you've done well. We are all
Thank you.
We support you. We will continue. We are continuing to pray for you. We
Amen.
That Nigeria to change,
Anambra need to change, and we need people like
Amen.
you. You
Amen.
contribute a lot to UKDC society. During your time,
Amen.
you improve, and then you do
Thank
better
you.
for Anambra. Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
God will proceed. God will
Thank
be with
you.
you.
Thank you.
Continue.
Thank you.
Stay blessed.
Thank you, my mentor.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, sir. And before we round off, a quick one. What's your opinion about zoning formulas in Nigeria? The zoning formula, we must get this right. Straight up.
Okay. You know, left to me, I'll say let the best always get it. Okay? But I mentioned it earlier that our politics is very tribal. And I even used the US tribal politics, Democrats and Republicans, to give an example. But even in Nigeria, in Africa, is worse. Because you're not talking about being tribal because of partisan, your political party, but because of your tribe. So, and it's a game of numbers. Democracy, politics, democracy is a game of numbers. So if you say, let us remove zoning, you will find that the people with the numbers will always get it, whether or not they are presenting the best. You have good people in every zone. If we say, let the Southwest get it this time, let the Southwest give us their best. Because if you leave it for the Southwest to go and get it, they may not have the number to get it. If we say, let the North give us their best, or not West or Northeast or North Central, or South South or Southeast, you have great materials in every zone. Let us use this zone to ensure that nobody in Nigeria feels that they are not a part of the system, because if you leave it without zoning, it might remain in one place for 100 years, and it won't help us because of the partisan nature of our politics.
Okay, Chief Ben, please let me bring Otumba one more. Otumba and please. Let Otumba just talk before we close. Otumba, you're welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Deba Odonko, that's my very good friend. Look, I'm so sorry just joining, not because we had this meeting you were supposed to be part of. But let me just say that, you know, we have discussed, we're very, very impressed with the work you're doing. And we believe very strongly that you're going to get, because look, we need people like you in the corridors of power in Nigeria. You need to be there. You need to you know, the accountancy and the integrity and accuracy, our motto. You need to bring that into governance, and we're very impressed with you. And we're with you all along. All this.
Thank you.
Mind you, by the way, when I was logging in just now, I was talking. Heard you talking about the what you expect from the Southwest, that kind of thing. Perhaps you'd like to know that here we have been talking, you know, about the Igbo and the Yoruba alliance, and that is very, very strong now in diaspora. And I'm sure you are into the Fatherland group as well, so you know everything that's going on there. So what is your view in terms of what has been going on in terms of collaboration, in terms of what you've had people say? Do you think is workable? Do you think the enmity do you think the Igbo people will now look differently at Yoruba and forget about the civil war issue? Because there's been a lot going on there.
Fadim, thank you so much. And by the way, that's also a past chairman of ICANN. So we're getting all the big hitters. David, I was laughing when you were speaking because you're preaching to the converted. You know, with me, I don't see tribe. You don't see tribe. Or neither does Ola or James Coker or Diro. You know, so we're different. We're not talking about ourselves. I'll give you an example. Today is Saturday. On Monday, the 22nd, yes, Monday 22nd, this is in 2 days' time, I'm leaving Anambra State to Akure. I'm going there precisely to be there for the inauguration to second term of Governor Akeredolu on his invitation. My hotel bills and all of that, they're taking care of it, and all the extended protocol. They'll take care of it. Now, when he came back, Ojukwu was alive. He advocated what he called a handshake across the Niger. And that is a collaboration between the Yorubas and the Igbos. I never needed my uncle to advocate that for me to know that it is the right thing to do. By the way, the Fatherland Group is being championed by a Yoruba guy who is married to an Igbo girl. Okay? So I don't even see tribes. When Akeredolu was fighting for his re-election, it was tough. I took off with my team to go to campaign amongst all the Igbo groups.
You were very, very
yes,
involved. I was aware,
amongst all the Igbo groups in Ondo State. And they voted en masse for him. I'm not saying he wouldn't have won because of me. But what I did was to let all those Igbo people there know that this is one of us, that we should support him. Because for some reason, you know, but let me just leave it at that. So I don't see tribes, handshake across the Niger, you know, sort of, we're one. And let me tell you, you see this tribal thing, it's even a myth in some ways.
It is, isn't it?
The elite in Nigeria is using it to divide us.
Absolutely.
Because we have two tribes in Nigeria. The elite of the Yorubas, the elite of the Igbos, the elite of the North, who are creaming off what is in Nigeria. At that level, they all mix. They don't see tribes when it comes to sharing the loot. But when it comes to doing the things that will favor the masses, they begin to tell you that this one is Yoruba. This
absolutely. I actually.
So let us be mindful of that fact that we are all one. We speak different tongues, different languages, but hey, we even have Igbos. I even have Igbos who don't even speak Igbo. The only way I can communicate with them is English. So why will language be a barrier?
Well, you know that you and I will be friends now for what, 30 years? So it's not, I don't. Most of my best friends are Igbo. You know that. So
I know that.
I think it was you were one of those that told me that my mother must have straight to Abia or something. But no, on the most serious note, you know, we are supporting you. The group has discussed about you today. And we believe by the grace of God, by the special grace of God, you will get there because you will bring forth the quality that we know that you have. Okay?
Thank you.
God bless you, my brother.
Thank you, David. Now, Marlene, please, I hope I'm not monopolizing the time. What David said, it was the Rod that started it. What the Rod said, Ola said, my mentor James Coker said, David said, is very important. That's why I'm telling you, don't listen to people's manifesto. Listen to who they are. The testimony that will come. And they are saying to the ANAMBRA, they're not from ANAMBRA, but they're saying to the ANAMBRA, we know this guy, we can vouch for him. And that's very important to me. Thank you very much.
In fact, the minute you get the nomination, we're all going to converge on ANAMBRA. We're going on campaign trail with you. So don't worry about that.
I know that.
All right, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Please, Chief, before you leave, sir, there's one more person, Charles Eponobi. Please. Maybe it looks like it's just in this dying minute that everybody is coming to say one thing or the other. Mr. Charles, can you hear me? Just give him a second to log on. Yeah. Somehow we've lost him, but that's okay. That's okay. I will take him. I can't even remove him from his. Okay, so now until he comes back, so can you just give us a closing remark? Because we need to know exactly why you want APC to give you that ticket for Anambra State. And then what's in general, what you have.
Okay. I think at this point in time, Anambra State is on a precipice. And it's been building up to a crescendo. I believe that what Anambra needs now is a governor who knows what he stands for, who is able to articulate a clear vision, who has enough energy, enough drive to, like I said, take Anambra out of darkness into light. Anambra is the light of the nation. That's our motto, our logo, and motto. We need a governor who just doesn't know what to do, but is very humble. Humility is a major virtue in politics. People tend to underrate that. We don't need a master. We don't need a boss to boss us around. We need a servant. We need a servant leader. And that is a term that is often abused. We need an altruistic leader. We need a leader that is not materialistic. We need a leader who understands the fact that there is limit to greed. Because the moment you begin to think about government as a way of empowering yourself, your family, and your friends. I'm not saying my family and my friends suffer because I'm governor. That's not the point I'm making. But the moment that becomes your agenda, you will lose focus and you will never be able to deliver on your agenda, and you disappoint the people. So just like ETIABA, my mentor, ETIABA, my hero, became the premier of the Eastern region. He never had a house before he became the premier. He finished at the end of his tenure and still never had a house, never built a house. It was just before his death that friends contributed money to build a house for him because he was most focused on delivering for the people, and the result is there for everybody to see till today. So that's why I'm running. That's what's driving me, to show that leadership is very easy. It is not rocket science. Okay? If you look at, I'm so happy that I've had a retinue of past chairmen of ICANN in UK speak on this platform this evening. We have gone from one chairman to another, one transition to another, one transition to another. That is a mark of a well-led organization by various chairmen. So this is what we want to do in Anambra, continuity. We don't want a governor that will come in and begin to antagonize his predecessors. And that was why at the beginning, when you wanted to draw me into telling you where the governor of Obiama failed, I didn't want to be drawn into that, not because because he has failed or he hasn't failed. Let the people decide. What is more important is not what has been, but what will be. Marlon, thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. I must say, thank you so much, so much, Chief Ben ETIABA, FCA, IFENNIA NNEWI. I call you the next governor of Anambra State.
Amen. Amen. By the grace of God.
Thank you for joining us in Straight Talk today, and thank you all for watching Prime View Television. Until next week, we have another package filled with other questions. We have to talk, all these politicians coming in one after the other. We have to call them on board to tell us exactly what they will do different from the ones that failed us. Charles Ekponobi, sorry I cannot bring you back up because we are late already. I tried to bring you back, and then Chief Ben has acknowledged your presence. And on this note, I must say good night.
Prime View TV, new media with a difference.